everything's going to cost more than you expect hiring a contractor. Like, just put that out there into the universe. Like, let's make that mainstream media. Because construction is not a, quote unquote cheap thing when you do it right. There are cost-effective DIY ways to do literally everything. Like, you can pick up a truckload of tools off of the internet and go yard sailing over the course of the weekend, and you can out figure yourself just as good as me if you got the time. Like, anybody can get the tools right now.
All right, so let's see. I'll be able to make any edits.
Edits?
If I need.
We're doing it live. I thought we were doing it live.
Well, we're live now. Welcome, everybody. This is the Local Legends Podcast. That's the name of it. This is our first episode, and super excited to have Dave here. Dave is a good friend, awesome just as a person, individual, but also I heard so many good things. I haven't actually done a job with you yet or had a job done through OneBook, but that's what we're here for is for OneBook, but also to help local businesses like yourself.
Absolutely.
But a little bit about Dave Morganthall. He does D&M Construction is his business name. So he does
DM Construction and Consulting LLC here in the state of Florida.
Yeah.
Keep it legal. Let's not get me in trouble with any of the regulatory agencies. But
yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I'm Dave Morganthall, owner of DM Construction and Consulting. I am 50% of the company. The other half is located in Henderson, Nevada. And
that's your dad, right?
That's my dad.
Yeah.
It's a long time of family operation.
Is he still out there working?
He's out there grinding, man. He's
awesome.
He's got a job going on out in Oxnard, California right now that he borrowed my superintendent, Shorty. I don't know if you've met him yet, but he's the 6'8" country boy that
No.
I got a big dude named Shorty.
Okay.
And
That's awesome.
Yeah, man, we got a small team, but we got operations on both sides of the country.
Yeah.
And
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, just a little bit more. I mean, when I launched OneBook, you were the first one to sign up.
Dude, Million Cups, man. That brought us together for coffee.
Absolutely. And, it was like the official launch, and Dave was signed up before the event was over.
Before you even ask questions.
Yeah.
And, man, that's how I roll with small businesses.
Yeah.
If it's something that I believe that brings value to my operation and I believe that I bring value to yours, maybe we should do something together.
Absolutely, man. I mean, that's the goal for our company is to help small businesses. And if we can make a system that allows us to connect better with customers that are in need of services and help pros that provide quality service,
right. I mean, the local aspect of what you got going on is obviously a major selling point for anybody here in St. Pete.
Right.
And obviously you have national competition and Angie's List and whatnot. But, there's pros and there's cons. There's an obvious benefit to working local.
Absolutely.
And I'm happy to support a local business. Dude.
Yeah.
I started 20-some years ago because I had a bad attitude. And it just,
let's get into that. We'll talk about more OneBook, but I want to hear the legend of Dave and tell me about you as an individual, but also how you got into this line of work. You said you've been in the trade services your whole life.
Sure.
So I want to hear more about you for sure.
My dad was a contractor, and we grew up in the suburbs of Baltimore, Maryland. He started his own business in the 80s after popping out a couple of kids. I got two awesome sisters. And he and Mom decided to strike out into the small business world back then, building high-end houses.
Wow.
And me, I was next to a contractor my whole life. Like, I wanted to be a contractor, but I got told, hey, you got to go to college. Like, that was a very popular theme there in the late 90s.
Absolutely.
And reluctantly, like, I got accepted to a great engineering school.
Where'd you go?
Let's not name drop. If you know me, you know where I went, you know where I came from.
Yeah.
It used to be a 3-letter word, and it was located somewhere in the auto belt.
Okay.
But I wanted to build cars. Like, I wanted really, really, really badly to be a big 3 engineer. Mm-hmm. And then it all sucked. Like, you lose the dexterity of your hands when you're sitting in a classroom. At least I did.
For sure.
And like being somebody who built something literally all the time and like, you know, left dad's tools out in the rain to get rusty, so he was pissed off when he got to work the next day. Like now, you know, the evolution is from the guy that came up being that kid, like I'm raising that kid now. And, you know, 1995, 96 was when I started really professionally sweeping floors.
Yeah.
And as soon as I got my driver's license, I was out framing walls and hanging drywall. Like, it was not a slow transition from sweeping floors to carpenter for me because,
right.
I mean, we were talking about the worst job earlier, like slinging wheelbarrows of concrete. Like, I didn't want to be a laborer. Like,
right.
I wanted to build things. And, you know, get a little older, start playing with some more expensive materials and doing custom finishes in the retail arena. You know, we used to build custom cabinets and countertops and like millwork installations, and a lot of that we just did outside or in the middle of a food court or in the middle of, you know, 2 million square feet of retail.
Space,
like, you can set up a workshop anywhere to build anything you want once you level up and pushing a broom, you know. And me, I loved being a carpenter, but like, you got to be more. I guess there's a little drive that goes into leveling up my game. So, you know, the legend is I used to sweep floors and now I pick up trash for fun. Like, that's what I do, dude. I'm a simple ass dude. Give me a job to do and let me get it done. I don't like a lot of micromanagement. Like, I'm kind of a free spirit in that regard.
Yeah.
I'm not your traditional contractor. I try to keep my clients as happy as I can and manage expectations as best I can while being a dad and like while being the sole representative of an entire organization in one spot, like trying to do all the things that, like, we'll get into, you know, what all those things are, like where else you get involved and how you get yourself out there. Like, how do you evolve from sweeping the floor to sitting here talking about.
And I think that's so important, too, as far as your balance with life. Like you said, being a dad and being a business owner, being the service provider. Like, it's
hard.
It all has its own problems and issues that you have to deal with every single day, but balancing it makes it even harder.
Everybody's got problems, and
That's
I hate
right.
problems. Like, I like implementing solutions. Like, if somebody says, I've got a problem, like, let's work on the solution. Let's like not dwell on the problem. Like, everybody got fucking problems.
I'm a contractor, not a therapist.
Right. And, like, you know, I think that's an important transition. So, like, I came through the trades when mental health wasn't a thing. So June is a lot of months, but first and foremost, it's Men's Mental Health Awareness Month.
I did not know that.
Like, I learned that like 2 days ago, and if it's not, correct me. Like, somebody tell me I'm wrong on the internet. That's something that I never thought I would grow up seeing either. Like,
it's always good to have that as top of mind. Like,
but
we're
like
creatures that, you know, that we have a science behind that
we
haven't figured out. I definitely haven't. But.
So, like, you know, embracing the fact that it's a different workforce today than it was back in the 90s, back in the 70s, back in the 50s, 40s, like when, you know, God, when they built the pyramids, dude. Like, I can't imagine working in that hot-ass arena and building that heavy stuff. It's cool, but, like, we got a crane now. You know, we can do a helicopter lift now.
I was just watching something about that where people thought they were slaves. There's still speculation on it, but they were, like, fed and provided housing, and like, they loved doing that.
They probably
like, building the pyramid. They're like, this is epic. I want to do this.
You know, translate that to today. I mean, if a project sucks going into it, do you want to work on it?
Right.
Because me, no. Like, unless it is, hey, my project sucks, can you help me with that? Like, absolutely, I can do that. But, like, I'm not going to go into, oh, this project sucks, I'm going to keep it sucking the whole way through. If it sucks, I'm not doing it. Like, I niche down because of what I enjoy doing. And, you know, I don't know if it's an appropriate segue into that, but, like...
Yeah, and you know, we'll get to some questions. I definitely want to hear more about you're a dad.
Sure.
You've got a little girl, right?
I do. I got a 5-year-old.
Oh my gosh.
Codenamed Nugget. My little micro ambassador gets out into the community a lot, and she was pulling tickets for one of our other local businesses the other night.
Cool.
Liam was out promoting some strategizing and networking. So Lola was out strategizing and networking with other business owners. And, she's not going to be a sheltered child. Like, she gets to play with tools. Like I let her pound nails with me and run the drill and like run screws in. And that comes with some cuts and bumps and bruises, but
you gotta learn young.
Hold that flashlight perfectly still. Like we'll get there. Like, don't move the light.
Right. Yeah. And, a lot of practice, and she'll get there.
Yeah, but my dad was, as far as teaching me what to do, it was just to do it the right way. Like,
that's amazing that he's still working. I mean,
like
I'm guessing
old,
he's older.
He's old. He's
still making it.
I'm never gonna ask him to retire.
Yeah.
Like he'll tell me if he's done.
Yeah.
But like, bro, I'm in my 40s.
If you ask him, he'll probably work harder.
Opening up the heart a little bit. I'm 40-some years old, and I still got my dad. Like, there's a lot of guys and girls that are in our circle, in our industry, in our community that can't say that. And like, there's a lot of stuff that is freaking hard about working with your family, but like at the end of the day, I had to go do cool things with my dad. Yeah. And
I think that's a win in general. Like, having a family business, working with family is hard. Probably harder than working with
strangers is harder though, man.
Yeah.
Like,
it is.
Trust is something that you build. Like that takes a really big foundation. Yeah. And your clients have to trust who they're working with. You're coming into somebody's house. Like, if I show up looking like a stereotypical contractor the first day out, I mean, like, somebody that I want to work with is going to be like, this is probably not my guy. Yeah. I can still be that guy that builds things in the front yard at the trailer park. Like, I can be that guy, but when I go into your house or into your restaurant, I'm a consummate professional, my dude. Like,
absolutely. And you say you're late. You're saying you're maybe it's the communication is probably what you
right.
That customer is probably the biggest pet peeve, which I'll ask. But
right.
What was my? Leading?
Slow is what I'll tell you. Like, I'm not slow. I'm methodical. Yeah. Because one little mistake on a job we don't really touch things that are less than $50,000 because as a now general contractor, that is where I start to make a little bit of money. And maybe if we go beyond that, I could make enough money where I don't have to stress as hard about the next job. Like we're in a comfortable spot. We've got a good client base. We've been working with some national chains for a long time.
I did see that on your website the other day. Yeah. So you were doing commercial for a while,
was 20 years.
But you're starting to get back into residential more?
Yeah, man. And I'm struggling here in my niche. Like let's transition. Like I build restaurants. I build retail locations and restaurants. That was honed and developed over 20 years with national franchises as a small business. Running out of a basement. We built our system of how we do it, and we do it. Like, it's not a book. It's not an app. Like, it's not a spreadsheet. It's a process. It's a flow. It's all the things. And we use all the tools. Like, we have them, but when it comes down to it, you got to know what the fuck you're doing. Yeah. And, like, I really know how to build restaurants. Like, especially with those really good at building restaurants. Yeah. And St. Pete is flush with restaurants. There are places that are already built. There are places that are in process that are gorgeous. And there are a lot of very competent, quote-unquote, competitors in this market for me. I'm relatively new to this community. I moved here in 2015. So if a long-time restaurateur in this area has a favorite contractor, that's fucking awesome. Yeah. Like, pardon my my blue language, as one of my mentors would say, but like, I love it. My collar's a little blue. There are a lot of really amazing, skilled tradespeople in this community.
For sure.
And dude, for years, we were just thumb to nose at. Like, look the other way. Like, this guy walks in, he smells bad, he's dirty as shit. but he's got a lot of money in his pocket that could pay for your house twice over on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it may not be cash money these days, but when he's getting paid, like, that guy's dirty as hell because he just busted his ass this week.
Mm-hmm.
And the white collars of our industry, the white hats, as we used to call them jokingly, like, those guys historically have put in the time to be that dirty motherfucker in the trenches. Like, the guy that rolls into the car wash because he can't stand the smell of himself in his work boots, and he just blasts the dirt off and blows the music, rolls down the window and blasts some music while he's cleaning his shit up. Like, that guy put in the time to be in his office in an air-conditioned truck now.
Yeah.
Or sitting up in the field office telling other people what to do. Like, there were generations of people that had to literally sweat it out and learn the hard way. And now we can go to school for it, which is cool.
Yeah.
But is it the same? Like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
There's a lot of things that I was thinking about while you were chatting, and one was the trust going into someone's home, and that's definitely one thing we're trying to accomplish at OneBook is basically.
So, like, the background check thing, I had to do while we were listening to your presentation. I had to subscribe to a background check and, like, process that paperwork, which. Not a big deal. We do that for licensure all the time. A standard background check is relatively easy when you live a life that keeps you off of people's docket. Like, keep your ass out of jail. You don't have to worry about passing a background check.
Yeah, and that's what we want to help is make sure that customers know, because right now with our systems, they'll hire a business that had the marketing and the team behind it to win that job. But at the end of the day, they may not send their best guy, right? They'll probably send whoever's convenient for the business. And you might get Joe that just joined last week with businesses like that. I
think that comes with scale. And absolutely, there are entities out there that will send your unknown contractor. My team, my D team, hashtag D team, if I'm going to throw shameless self-promotion at it, we know who we work with. And, like, just because I'm not doing it with my hands, the guys that I work with have quality standards that match mine. And if they don't, they get to do it again. And if that doesn't work, they get to do it again. Or they don't get paid. Like, you have to be good at what you do to get paid for what you've done. And you have to be a good contractor, a good entity, a good person. To fuck with my team. Like, my team. I
mean, it's a service at the end of the day, and it's customer service.
Correct.
It's all about the customer.
And
you have to have not only the contracting skills, but at the point of the day, you're going to have to communicate with the customer.
And I have a very direct nature in my communication. I have a lot of passion that goes into some of my words and actions when things go a little sideways and I start catching some smoke. Like, I'm not always nice. Like, I can get a little mean, but you can't always be a little mean. You got to be a little nice when you're being a little mean and still get it done. Like, you can be mad, but you can work damn hard while you're mad.
That's right. Well, let's get into some of these questions, man. Let's see. Number one is, let's start with, what's the hardest job you've ever done?
Concrete work. Like, just blanket statement. Concrete work is the hardest job I've ever done, willingly or otherwise. Like, from a back breaking, your knees hurt at the end of the day, your hands are blistered and calloused. Like, that's...
And once it sets, it's not something that's easy to fix.
And, like, over the years, I have done bad concrete work and been reprimanded for bad concrete work. I have had contractors and superintendents and other qualified tradesmen that do other things do bad concrete work. And, like, you pay for that. You either grind it or you fix it or you polish it or you fill it or you level it. Like, bad concrete's bad. And making good concrete possible has gotten a lot easier. Like, we're seeing a lot of innovation in our industry. Like, I got a guy now that I'm not going to throw any rates out there because maybe he treats me right, maybe he doesn't, I don't know. But he shows up with a truck that has a pump and a whole bunch of hose, and he stretches that hose out, and the concrete truck backs up, and then he pumps my concrete wherever the hell I want. There's a service charge for getting that done. And, like, maybe somebody doesn't want to shovel and wheelbarrow 3 yards of concrete.
Hey, that's
while
a
the
specialty
driver,
in its own.
Right. So, like, that's a guy that I personally want to get set up with you for OneBook. Because if somebody's looking for concrete pumping, I got a guy.
We've got the category, man.
Right, we do. And
put them on there.
So, yeah, I mean, concrete is the hardest job I've ever done. And it has gotten much easier now that I delegate it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting at. Like, I don't have to move it in the wheelbarrow and be miserable at the end of the day when it's in the hole. Like, now I write a check or I just pay it on the account and it is done. Like, now concrete is the easiest thing I do.
That just, I was thinking, you went into the tools we have. Do you have a favorite tool that you use for every single day or just in general for work?
Favorite tool every day, my red pencil. Like, I will... If I don't have a red pencil in this bag right now, I will give you $10. I have a red pencil.
There it is.
So, like,
I love it.
I have a very sentimental
And you're a
attachment.
Lowe's guy, huh?
I'm a Lowe's guy.
Okay.
Like, Home Depot for tools.
Yeah.
Lowe's for lumber.
Okay.
It's been that way for friggin'
That's a great
years.
tip. I'm just always 100% Home Depot.
Okay.
But are the prices better in lumber? You just
paying retail. You're paying retail.
Yeah.
Like, if you're paying retail and you're not negotiating a better price, go to whichever damn store you want.
Right.
Like, I get rewards at both stores. I get perks. I get benefits. I get discounts because we buy a lot of shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, probably my materials invoices last year over $500,000. Like, easily over $500,000 in materials alone last year. I don't know what the exact number is. Somebody will tell me I should know that.
Yeah.
I don't fucking do the accounting. Like, I am terrible with
long
my
as you're
accounting.
profiting.
Like, I know what a job costs to do. I know what I make at the end, and I
Yeah.
keep track of that somewhat along the way, as long as shit doesn't go sideways.
Right.
But, like, yeah, my favorite tool, my red pencil.
I love it. I love it. So simple, right?
Yeah,
It's
so
just
simple.
the simple things that just matter.
And tape measures, like, I don't have a favorite tape measure right now because every new one that I put in my hand doesn't feel as good as the one that I loved for so many years.
Oh yeah,
like, I had a old or OG Stanley Fat Max. Like, it just was like worn.
They don't
this
make
hand.
the style anymore, or
No,
just like it just grew onto you.
I got a
like
few,
a shoe.
I got a few different scars and like pressure points in different places. It doesn't fit my hand anymore.
Yeah.
And like I haven't found one to replace it. So right now I am looking. If anybody has a recommendation on a tape
It's
measure,
like
I need the ideal, optimal, not.
Dave's measuring tape is like Cinderella's shoe right now.
Find me, my princess. I will make beautiful music with that.
Oh God, I love it. I did have this on the list. I guess. What's the most common job that you do for clients?
Commercial kitchens right now.
Okay.
You know, if it's me personally working, like, I enjoy doing rough carpentry every now and again just to prove that I can still do it. Like, watching videos recently of Larry Holland, that old school wood butcher. Like, that guy was a badass. Like, tapping myself on the back. I used to be a badass metal framer. And, like, I take pride in doing that. And, like, usually I get it 100% right. But now I'm so out of practice. Like, if it's a little job that I can do, like, I like doing that.
Yeah. Just because you got that process down and
right, and like building
you do in your sleep.
Fine fixtures now. Like I do a lot with reclaimed lumber. You know, if you stop in down at the chamber in a couple weeks, you'll be able to see a project that's in process right now. Like,
cool.
Reclaimed lumber repurposing. I mix new stuff with old stuff, and I create that on the front porch while I drink coffee and make phone calls and do other things, or on my only kid-free day of the week where I have like zero parenting responsibility, just kick back, turn up the music, and just go to town and make pretty things out of old things that weren't that before.
I love it. I love that too. As far as the construction, like people reusing stuff is my biggest thing.
Dude.
If you have an opportunity to make something amazing out of something that's never going to be used or thrown away,
right?
How epic is that?
So today I did a social media post when I left my last job.
Yeah.
We recycled almost 750,000 pounds of concrete and rebar and masonry over the last year on this one
amazing,
project.
man.
Like, that was taken, it was clean, we kept the trash out of it. Like, we had a few instances where I had to take some trash out of the dumpsters to keep it clean, but like, dude, that's a lot of concrete that we put back into the local projects that are going on. You know, one of the local hauling companies will dispose of that material on their yard if it's clean for free. There's trucking involved. There's fees and costs. Like, it's not free to get rid of it, but it's free to dump it. And then they take it, they grind it down, they separate everything out. Steel goes where it belongs. Concrete gets broken down and done what it does. And they keep that locally. And it's going into all the stuff that's going on around us.
That's
awesome. I mean, there's sidewalk projects everywhere. There's bridges going up. Like, you know,
there's so much. I mean, construction is ridiculous.
It's
everywhere.
Insanity right now,
especially as we grow. And I can't even imagine. We have a lot of growth, but even like, especially like a town like Miami, where they literally have to raise their streets by like, what is it, a foot every year at least?
I don't even know. Like, I grew up on the Chesapeake Bay, man. Like, we had low-lying property that has gradually over the years become lower-lying property.
Yeah.
And, like, now it's and the other side of the family is dealing with the fallout and the repercussions of what's going on there. I would love to say that we're going to be able to just keep raising everything, but I think eventually people are going to have to figure out that maybe we need to move a little bit back farther from the water. Right. St. Pete did a great job of protecting our water here along the waterfront. Like, if we're going to double down on waterfront, like, let's talk waterfront for a second. We love to be on the water. You know, my grandmother always used to joke, they're never going to make another piece of waterfront property. Maybe not, but maybe they are. Right. Like, it's a real problem, and I think
if someone wants it that bad, they're going to pay the money to,
like, we got some epic equipment. Like, we can put a hole in the dirt anywhere. We can fill that hole with water in Florida. Like, we can make you a pond. We just got to dig down like 3 feet.
Right.
But, you know, it's definitely,
I think that's a great transition.
That's a rabbit hole. That's a rabbit hole.
I think it leads directly into the question I had is, of your customers, right? Yeah. What's your number one pet peeve? What just drives you crazy?
Not making a decision. Like, don't drag out a decision. It's either yes or no, this or that. Like, we can factor in taking our sweet ass time. I do that in the early phases of the job, but like, once the job is ready to go, like, let's go.
Or taking back their decision.
Right. Like, don't, you know, you tell me to do something, then you change your mind. Like, we can do that. Most of the time, because we're nice, or it's, you know, it's just cost of doing business. Like, you got to deal with some of that. You got to take it on the chin. But like,
time or money or both.
But somebody that's doing the trade might not factor in that this guy's going to ask you, you know, on a $250,000 job, they're going to ask you for a couple $1,000s worth of freebies. Do them. If you're getting paid enough to do them and still pay your fucking bills. Like, don't nickel and dime your client to death.
Right.
If you want to be a handy person that charges by the task, make a really damn good list. And then get somebody to follow you around clicking buttons. And, like, you'll find out why sometimes you just pay the better guy. Yeah. Like, you know, the more inclusive option is sometimes better. You know, not always about the low bid or the cheap guy. Like, cheap costs a lot.
Absolutely. I think that was going to be also a question that I had lined up was what's the best, you said this earlier, but what's the best home hack tip of advice for people looking to, that need construction, that they can save time and money?
Right. So everything's going to cost more than you expect hiring a contractor. Like, just put that out there into the universe. Like, let's make that mainstream media because construction is not a, you know, quote unquote cheap thing when you do it right. There are cost effective DIY ways to do literally everything. Like, you can pick up a truckload of tools off of the internet and go yard sailing over the course of a weekend, and you can outfit yourself just as good as me if you got the time. Like, anybody can get the tools right now. You can go buy them brand new with warranty and, like, double down. They'll even give you a fucking credit card right now and give you a year to pay them. Like, you can do that right now and literally do everything that I am capable of doing. But, like, where do the skills come in? Like, how do you learn those lessons? Like, how do you learn what you're good at? Like, pick something you want to learn and then go do it. Like, I love finishing drywall. Like, I'll come to your house. I'll skim your wall out. You hang it. You do whatever you want. I will come in and I will finish your drywall. I will drink beer while I'm doing it. We're going to listen to Jimi Hendrix. It may smell like I ran over a skunk a little bit. But, like, I love finishing drywall. And it is a good fallback on that skill every now and again because Everybody puts a hole in their wall.
Mm-hmm.
Punch a hole in your damn wall. Like, move a chair wrong. Throw it over. Like, let your kid go buck wild on a Friday night with some extra candy.
And it's not something to cry about because especially with the tools today, that is like, something that's DIY.
It's so easy. And, like, the products that are available, you can get a stick-on patch.
Mm-hmm.
We used to have to make a California patch or blowout patch or whatever you call it. Like,
yeah.
quick holes are not quick to fix. You could do it the wrong way a lot of ways. Like, you can screw shit in. I grew up and I learned all the wrong ways to do drywall, and then eventually I got good at doing it the right way.
Stopped making holes as you grew older.
yeah. Like, aggression is a thing in teenage and adolescence. Like, it happens.
Yeah.
Holes get punched in walls. You could fix those. They're a great lesson where somebody wants to play video games. Bro, get after it. Like, we got a whole ass mission here. Like, we're going to go to Home Depot and we're going to figure out what we need to fix this hole that you just blew in the wall because you lost Fortnite. Like, let's go. Come on.
Video games is probably the biggest cause of holes in walls.
I mean, let's hope that is the largest cause. I know that I have definitely yeeted a controller more than once out of rage over some of the times that I was playing like garbage and deserved to lose. I still got mad about it. Like, that's awesome. Shit happens. Like,
I haven't had time for video. That's like my one thing I wish I can start doing more is just like the passing of time. But it's hard here in Florida because also we want to get outside and enjoy the sun. And
I make time for video games.
Yeah.
Because I have arthritis.
You play Fortnite still?
I play Fortnite to this day. I am a legend in my own mind. Like, I played this morning after I had my coffee and like checked my email and did my thing. Like, I had a little bit of time before I had to go. I played a couple of quick matches.
It's such
I got
awesome
second,
game.
third, fourth, and then I was like, rage quit. I am out. I'm going to pick up trash outside in the sun. But like, for me, it's a dexterity thing. Like, I've got a lot of stuff going on in my hands. I've had accidents and trauma and cuts and scrapes and cuts and nails and screws and like all the things. So like, an Xbox controller works literally every bit of my hands. Yeah. And I make time for myself. And then I go outside and take a walk.
Hey, it's part of mental health, too.
It's part of your mental health. You got to have a thing to do
physical,
other than
mental.
work.
I am the same. I love video games. I used to, back in school, that's pretty much all I did.
Yeah. My nephews, they're gamers. They're awesome. Like, those guys will probably not be carpenters.
That's for sure.
I hope that they're not carpenters unless they want to be. Like, I told my oldest nephew, I'm like, dude, you can be whatever you want, but I think you should be an electrician or a welder. And he laughed at me. He's like, I want to go into, like, sports medicine. I'm like, that's a great profession for you. Like, you play hockey, you get the shit kicked out of you. Yeah. Like, be able to take care of your buddies when you get the shit kicked out of you. And then go be an electrician, dude. Like, get certified to be an electrician. And then niche down into data and low voltage and communications and all this high-speed infrastructure that's coming. Yeah. Learn how to do that now, dude. Like,
I literally, even though I've kind of gone my own career path, I literally have still thought about going back and becoming an electrician. Just to know that knowledge. It's the fan, and we do have to, everyone needs electricity, right? Plumbing and electricity are probably the two most important, and HVAC.
HVAC in Florida, dude. I mean, it was 107 degrees on my job site the other day. Yeah. And my truck's AC was broken down. Damn. So, like, I had to get home in, like, the hot-ass red work truck that I have in Florida, and then go home and pray that the air conditioner was working there. Like, get a good HVAC guy. I got a great one locally. Like, be an HVAC guy, be an electrician, be a plumber.
We got to get him on OneBook, man. I don't want to take him away from you, but...
No. I share the members of my team with my community. And it is my hope that when my community has a project that is of what I do, they'll call me. And they do. Like, a lot of people have delivered here in the community for some of the smaller stuff, like carpentry-related repairs, like painting, house touch-up, cleanup. Like, you got a violation from the city, I got a team that can handle that. Like, I'm one call, one stop. Like, I can take care of that. It costs money. It's not free. It's not free. It's not fast. So, like, call me when you get the notification, and like, let's start working on what's going to cost you. Because like, if you have it done now, because you got a hearing next week, like, that costs more.
Everything does.
Everything costs more. When you have now, like, as soon as you say I need it now, like, even if it's standard rate, it still costs more because you got to pull somebody from somewhere else or hire another crew that's like
I think
in
that's
that
a great
like right now mentality of like, oh yeah, I've got 37 other contracts that I can go do that I know I'll make this much on.
Yeah.
But this guy needs me right now, and I can get paid.
I think that's a great piece of advice is the sooner we can get things done, especially if it comes down to your home, if something breaks, the sooner you can get it fixed, the better. Right. Otherwise, it's going to cause more problems.
For sure. Like, don't let it linger.
Yeah.
And, there's a lot of talk in the community about, income levels and disparity in cost of living, cost of repairs and all that. Like, let's just address that. Like, there are opportunities for lower income families to get assistance within our community. I don't know what they are. I know people talk about them. I know they're there. Like, if you're having a hard time getting something fixed, ask somebody. Like, they will connect you with the resource that you need. I think there's a phone number we can call. Maybe you can reference that and drop it in a comment or something. But like, there are other people that will do charitable things. You can do nice things for people if you are in the trades. Like, I can do a favor for a friend and not charge them a dime. Like, I fixed a screen.
Hey, sometimes asking is all it takes.
Right, like, just ask me. Maybe I'm fucking bored. Like, maybe I want to see you and talk shit. Like, maybe we want to catch up on our kids. Like, call me. The worst I'm going to say is no. Or maybe I'm going to take a long time because I got a few irons in the fire, but, like, I'll do you a favor, man, and, like, make a joke about it. Like, let's have a good dinner together. Like, let's make social media content that pokes fun at it. Like, let's have fun. I'll teach you everything I know. Like, I'll open the toolbox on my truck. Like, careful, it's black, it's hot. Like, don't touch it without gloves. But, like, open my toolbox. I'll teach you how to use it.
I love, as you're talking, we're transitioning to all the questions I had. The last one I really had, or I got two more, but what is the craziest thing that's ever happened to you on a job?
I had an electrician years ago working in a hot panel, sweating his ass off. I watched a man's mustache start smoking, and I saw the aftermath of fogged and shattered glasses on his face.
Oh, my God.
And Bruce lived, and he and I were friends for a while. He passed away a few years ago. Like, I haven't kept in touch with him too good, but, like, that was the funniest, most scariest moment to see this big arc flash from Bruce's sweaty hand reaching across the bus bar to push in a set of fuses, and it just smoking mustache,
just like
his glasses,
in.
like just smoking. Like, dude was smoking. Alive, and like went and got medical help, like got checked out, like he was fine, but like that was the craziest shit ever. Like, another time I had a guy, we were drilling holes in the roof of a building, 10-inch reinforced slab. I had a gantry crane, a gantry give way, like a wheeled dolly give way with a 30-inch round, 10-inch thick slab of concrete. And then the guy was dumb. He tried to catch the motherfucker.
Oh, that's never good.
This has been a long time ago. Like, if there is a video or a lawsuit, like, I'm sure it's already happened. But, like,
for sure.
That guy didn't get hurt. That guy got taught a lesson. Yeah. And I got taught a big lesson. Like, you can do, there's a guy that said this, but, like, do dangerous things safely. Like, you can do some sketchy ass shit on a job site, but fucking accidents happen. Like, those are the two, like, worst ones that I think I've had is, like, guy getting pinched because he tried to be Superman and save a 30-inch by 10-inch round slab of reinforced concrete from just falling over. Like, oh, I can save this. Bullshit, dude. Like, that weighs a lot. Like,
I've heard too many stories.
Yeah, like, fire department came. Like, they got to play with their stuff. Like, the fire department was super cool. They got him all checked out and bandaged up. He went to the doctor later. Again, fine.
That's a great
bruised
at least
ego.
We can laugh.
Like, bruised ego, not dead, not broken, not maimed. Like, no real incident report other than what happened at the hospital. Like, we did what we were supposed to do. That guy was fine. Like,
the best learning situation you probably ever had.
Yeah, and like, do your reports when that shit happens. Like, factualize it and document it, because somebody's going to create a different story about that later if you don't know what happened. Like, if you're the super, I was the super, like, as the company owner, I was the super. So, like, I was there. I had the documentation and the incident report in my journal. Like, write that shit down. Like,
yeah, I love it, man. I guess we'll wrap it up with, Dave's bookable on OneBook.
I am.
Go find him if you're in the St. Pete area.
Yeah.
I think your booking fee's at like $42.
I picked
There's
a
a weird
random
number.
ass number, and I don't want you to think I'm free. Like I
Oh,
would,
for sure.
and like speaking to my potential customers here, like I want to bring a luxury product into your home. I am the guy that can connect you with the smaller resources. I don't make money off of doing that. I would prefer that somebody goes to somebody else for the emergency and the emergent repair. The handyman type stuff that is just way too much for a weekend for you guys. Like, that is something that you can reach out to me with. I got a good small projects team here in town for your drywall, your paint, your stucco, your block, your concrete. Like, I've got all of those trades under my umbrella. And the reason I didn't just set like a $2 booking fee is I have to make those phone calls. I have to do that driving around and like connecting those resources and dots. Like, that comes with that initial consult. And, that gets me to show up and spend, 30 minutes to an hour just walking around and talking shit.
And that's what it was built for, right?
Like, it's the connection to the certified professional that does what we do.
So $42 is literally, even if you don't go with Dave,
right? And
$42, he's going to give you some knowledge.
You get a knowledge bomb. Like, you get money out of my pocket potentially to take and use it wherever the hell you want. Like, go to Home Depot and buy the tools.
Right.
Post internet content about it. Like, get clicks, get likes, get told, get taught a lesson. Like, learn that I have to buy $1,000 worth of tools.
And then maybe at that point for you as a pro, maybe they don't go with you at that point. But first off, you got paid the $42 for your time. And once they do go buy their tools and mess it up, they know who to go back to.
Absolutely. And everybody gets told that same thing. If you don't hire me for this one, call me the next time. Like, I bring a unique set of skills and services to a market that is flush with qualified people. Hire Dave. Like, let me see what we can do together. Like, I like building cool things.
Yeah.
You got something cool and innovative, I'm your guy. Hey, if you got a lot of time to take as much time as you want to redesign the ultimate, like,
be methodical with
automotive
it.
themed man or she cave, like, if you want a spot to go that's like an industrial rugged garage feel, cut my ass loose, bro. I got you. It's gonna cost money, but spend $42. Maybe I'll bring a case of Coors Light by, and like we'll hang out, we'll talk beer over a project like that. Like,
and we made that mainly. I don't know. Have you used other platforms before?
I have. Man, I've seen the evolution of these platforms because, I predate the internet. We had dial-up back in the day and AOL and all the good things.
Yeah.
And, Angie's List was popular and, Blue Book had its cycle and, like, I use those tools. The best tool I've got is the one that I'm flapping my gums on now talking to you. Like, word of mouth, man. Like, get connected on the app, then talk about the people that you hired. Get your QR codes pulled up. Like, I share more people on your app than I do myself.
Yeah.
Like, when I'm out and about, like, I don't do that. But, hey, you can go to OneBook and you can find somebody. Like, I'll talk shit about the project with you. I'll tell you who you need, how you need to do it, how much it costs for me to come in and do it for you.
Yeah.
Or you can just go to OneBook and you can hire one that does exactly that. Like, you got a little minor carpentry work to do. You got a new door that needs swung or a lock that's not working. Like, find your little guy there. You got a leaky faucet. Like, we got a plumber. Like, we got a few guys in there.
We're growing steadily, man.
Yeah,
and, I hope this helps awareness as far as how we help the pro and help the customer.
Absolutely, man.
We hope that you can get booked on there.
For sure.
And get at least that 42 consultation done so you can get projects. But
it's not about the money.
But
It's not about the money on the app for me. Like, that will, as time progresses, change, obviously. Like, we're in the early stages of the launch with me, and I've put minimal effort into expanding myself into being available because I've been blessed with other outlets of income right now. Like,
well, that's
I'm a little too busy to like get myself out there. Everybody's like, you got to advertise, you got to promote. Like, just bought some new shirts. My phone number's on the back. Like, text me.
Right.
Like, I'm not advertising because if I advertise, then I gotta hire more people, and like that's not an easy task right now. So.
Well, hopefully people can start booking you on OneBook, and hopefully that makes it more efficient for you.
For sure.
Even though you've got the number, it's easy enough to call you. It's even easier if they could just book a time with you, right?
Absolutely.
And that's where
Links
the
my
evolution
calendar.
of those relationships, I hope, goes to, and what our goal is.
It's a different way of doing business.
Especially after the first booking. Sure, it's a way for people to find you, but
Sure.
the second booking, the third booking, you know where to find Dave when you need him.
Absolutely.
Right? So you can build that favorite list of your professionals and get shit done sooner when you need it. Because like we said, time is of the essence.
It's so much easier now to connect with a guy like me is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Like it's not, you don't have to send a fax and wait 3 to 5 business days for the receptionist to elevate it. Like you have an app.
Yeah.
And I get a notification. Like I probably have them all muted right now, but like if somebody was to book with me, like I get a notification.
Yeah.
So
I guess my last question for you is how can I help your business more? We haven't done too much to help you so far. I know you've helped me tremendously downloading the app, giving us exposure.
Keep hanging out.
What do you think we could do better to make your life more efficient, help you with your business?
Keep hanging out and keep evolving with our industry here.
Yeah.
Because I think as more people use the service, and you know how the growth goes, man. You can pay for it or you can make it organic. Like, as that organic, like, I now know how to connect all of my pros as that grows. I think that's going to do everything it needs to help my business. And I'm just looking forward to helping you through the growing pains of making that all happen for everybody else that's going to join me there, man. Like, it's an exciting opportunity. We got a lot going on in our town. We got a lot of complex variables in this equation locally, and we need a lot of skilled hands to make it happen. So
that's right.
Hopefully we can work together and make sure it's nice and easy for people to grab it here in town.
Well, man, pleasure speaking with you today.
Absolutely,
I love you, bro.
Love you too,
You're
man.
a legend. And
legend in somebody's mind, not mine.
Oh, you're a legend in my man. You're a local legend, and I appreciate you joining me today.
Absolutely.
But yeah, thanks everyone for listening. If you had the time to watch, and I actually don't even know how long we went, but
I don't know. It's time.
But yeah, right on, man. I appreciate you.
I hope we didn't hit parking ticket time. We still got like an hour. We can keep going.